tuning in to the live coverage of Harrison County Baseball. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Hinton Mills, Sorrel Home Medical, Harrison Memorial Hospital, Southern States, Edward Jones Investments, Bluegrass Stockyards, Farm Credit Mid-America, Poindexter Lumber Company, Hardee's of Cynthiana, First Methodist Church, State Farm Insurance Agent Joe Cochran, Snappy Tomato Pizza, El Paricatin Mexican Restaurant, Weber Farms, Kentucky Farm Bureau Agent Chad Eversole, Palmer Hampton Realty, Oasis Bar and Grill, and Judy Construction. And now, for all the play-by-play action, here's your host, Jim Swinford.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Harrison County High School Baseball. I'm Jim Swinford, coming to you from Mack Whitaker Field on the Hilltop, where this afternoon the Thorobreds will be taking on the Jaguars of Cooper High School from up at Union. Harrison County will enter tonight's game with a record of 2-0, while Cooper has started out the season 0-1, losing to Grant County back on Wednesday. Reds have gotten a couple of really nice pitching outings, limiting the runs that we've given up so far. Harrison County beating Bluegrass United 13-3 and 6, and then yesterday, or day before yesterday, defeated Fleming County 8-2. So hopefully that trend will continue. Harrison County will be starting Dre Roberts on the mound for this afternoon's ball game, his first ever varsity start. Hopefully he'll do very well. Taking a quick look at the lineup for Cooper. Leading off will be their third baseman, Jaden Dwayne. He'll be followed by the shortstop, Brogan Scott. In the third spot will be the designated hitter. That'll be Blaine Smith, batting for the center fielder, Nick Renero. The cleanup batter will be the right fielder, Ty Aragon. He'll be followed by the catcher, Jordan Dalcor. The sixth place batter will be the left fielder, Carson Johnson. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Dax Rowland. In the eighth spot, Ryan Rigney, the second baseman. And rounding out the batting order, Evan Rice, who will be on the mound. Well, we're about to have the national anthem, so we'll take a listen to that, after which we'll take a break and then come back for the first pitch of today's game between Harrison County and Cooper. But right now, our Star Spangled Banner.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Prefer to.
Congratulations, you're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah, Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Trish Jenkins today at 859-588-5590 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
We're just moments away from the start of today's game between Cooper and Harrison County. Defensively for the Thorobreds, Keen Price is behind the plate with Jordan Persinger at first and Cooper Slade at second. Austin Reynolds is over at third today with Brian Vaughn at short, and left to right in the outfield, Green, Lewis, and Walker. We'll see that combination quite a bit this year. Very good outfield defense for Harrison County. They're all backing up the pitching of Dre Roberts. Leading off will be Jaden Dwayne. He'll be followed by Brogan Scott, and then Blaine Smith.
Leading off, number 4, Jaden Dwayne.
Reds will have a game tomorrow over at Lewis County as we'll make the trip to Vanceburg. That game slated to start at high noon, in case you want to travel over with us. Roberts gets the sign from Price, and the first pitch is going to be popped up to the right side. It's going to be in fair territory. Now, Roberts and Persinger got a little confused as to who was supposed to catch that ball, so it drops in between them for an error. So just a little miscommunication there, as I think both of them yelled if they had it.
Brogan Scott.
Being that they hurt each other, they both backed off the ball. So with the runner on first and nobody out, Brogan Scott, the shortstop, will be coming to the plate. Scott looking down to his coach, Rob Sawyers, who's in his second year at the helm of the Jaguar program. Here's a throw to first base, but not in time. Pops out of the mitt of the first baseman, Persinger. Well, for over 70 years, Weber's Sausage has delivered the best Kentucky flavor to your breakfast table. From first sizzle to the last bite, it's a taste you can trust. Find them in your favorite meat department. Squaring to bunt is Scott, and it's a good one. Roberts' only play is the first, where he will just barely throw out the runner. Now a snap throw to second base is not in time, but the sacrifice does its duty in that it moves Dwayne over into scoring position.
15, Blaine Smith.
Blaine Smith, the designated hitter, will now be coming to the plate. Runner on second, one man out. A little bit of wind blowing out towards left field. I don't think it's got enough oomph to it to carry a ball out of here, but might be the difference between a catch at the fence and one that goes over. As Roberts looks into Price to get the sign, now steps off the back of the rubber once again. And now Price will head to the mound, as obviously there's some communication problems going on with the battery. Phillies in action today as well, down on Shirley Field, as they are taking on West Jessamine. Nope, that's not right. Yeah, the 21st. That game slated to start at 6 o'clock. And I don't see the West Jessamine bus, so they may still be on their way. Conversation on the mound over, and back to baseball. Down at second base, Dwayne, who led off by reaching on an error, takes his lead. And the pitch is going to be just a bit inside for ball one. As we said, Smith, the cleanup batter. Outfield playing him straight away. Left fielder Blake Green playing him fairly deep right at the edge of the bank. Look back to second. Now stepping off the back is Roberts, and his shortstop, Brian Vaughn, will have a conversation, and now Keen Price will join the talk. Of course, a lot of times in all levels of baseball, if you got a runner on second, you'll change the signs just in case the runner on second decides he wants to steal them. So maybe miscommunication on what those new signs are. Now, hopefully we got it figured out. Good crowd on hand. I'm sure more people will come as they get off of work and such. On a pleasant evening for baseball, temperature-wise. Next pitch is going to be high and inside. This count goes to 2-0. Reds with victories so far this year over Bluegrass United as well as Fleming County, while the lone loss by Cooper was to Grant County, who the Reds will play later on this season. Next pitch is a looper into left field. Coming on hard is Green. He will not be able to make the grab, however. The runner on second base, Duane, had gone about halfway and is able to get to third base. So runners on the corners
now
for Cooper
batting,
here in the top of the
40,
first inning.
Ty Aragon.
Right fielder Ty Aragon to the plate now. Aragon, the right fielder, as well as the cleanup batter. As Cooper threatening here in the top of the first. Over at first base, Persinger holding Smith on. As the batter Aragon levels the bat. And the pitch is a chopper to the left side and booted by the shortstop Brian Vaughn for an error. Coming on home to score will be Duane, as Cooper has taken a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. And
Now
have runners
batting,
on first
number
and second.
33, Jordan Dalcor.
Gave him an RBI because that run would have scored even if the error had not occurred. But it is an error nonetheless. 2 errors in the inning already for the Breds, which is very highly unusual. Jordan Dalcor at the plate, the catcher. Check of the runner at first base by Roberts. And the pitch is going to be very high and inside as well. And they say it was ball 1. Dalcor wears the number 33 on the back of his jersey. It's Edward. Next pitch is a chopper fouled left side. The count goes even at 1-1. Yeah, along with our game against Lewis County on Saturday, on Monday we'll actually be hosting Paris. I think a lot of schedules had that as a road game, but checking the website today said it's home, which is good because they don't have a press box. Here's a pop-up foul and out of play to the left-hand side. The count goes to 1-2 on Dalcor. Then later on next week, we'll get a visit from Bishop Brossart. That's on Tuesday. Take Wednesday off before returning to the Hilltop for a matchup against Covenant Holy Cross, the first of 2 games between the Breds and the Indians. Next pitch is taken at the outside edge, right at the knees for strike 3. So the first strikeout of the game picked up by Roberts makes it 2
Now
outs.
batting,
Those
number
runners still at
37,
first and second
Carson
for the
Johnson.
6th place hitter and left fielder Carson Johnson. Harrison County in their gray uniforms with Harrison County inscript across the front. Meanwhile, Cooper in their maroon tops and their gray pants. Here's a shot to right field, but Walker's got a beat on it and will make the shoestring grab for out number 3. I hope he doesn't do that often. A run does come across in the inning, though. There was 1 base hit, a couple of errors, and 2 aboard. As we head now to the bottom of the first, your score, Cooper 1 and Harrison County coming to bat. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Mary Todd Ashbrook today at 859-588-1520 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Back up here at the Hilltop. Harrison County gives up an unearned run in the top of the first. Now they'll try to get that back and more. Leading off will be Keen Price. He'll be followed by the left fielder Blake Green. In the third spot, Brian Vaughn, the shortstop. Cleaning up today for Harrison will be the center fielder, Jay Sean Lewis. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Jordan Persinger. Batting sixth, the right fielder is Donovan Walker. He'll be followed by Dre Roberts, the man on the mound. He'll be followed by the second baseman, Cooper Slade. And rounding out the batting order for Harrison County will be the designated hitter, Simon Jenkins, who's batting for the third baseman. That's right, the third baseman, Boston Reynolds. Defensively for Cooper, Jordan Dalcor is behind the plate with Dax Bolin at first and Ryan Rigney at second. Jaden Duane is at third with Brogan Scott at short. Carter Johnson's in left. Nick Renero's in center with Ty Aragon in right. All backing up the pitching of Evan Rice, who's just now finishing up his between innings tossings. As you said, the Breds doing very well on both offense and defense through the first two games, outscoring our two opponents 21-5.
Now batting number 26, Keen Price.
He started the second game at the plate, starting again today. Over at third base, Duane, a couple steps in on the infield grass. Now he backs up again as Rice looks into Dalcor to get the sign. And the pitch is going to be outside and low for ball one. We got about 15 people or so come down to watch their Jaguars play today as the next pitch is outside. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Price. Price, a sometimes starter last year at the varsity level, full-time starter this year. The wind and the pitch from Rice is going to be outside once again for ball three. So I would imagine that Price has the red light here. Force Rice to throw a strike. And the 3-0 pitch, taking all the way, is Keene, and that one is going to be on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Sun's coming back out from behind the overcast clouds for a little while. 3-1 pitch is fouled out of play to the right side. That'll load up the count at 3-2. Cynthia and Hardee's want you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's at Hardee's in Cynthiana. Big pitch for the leadoff batter for the Breds. The payoff is going to be a bouncer to the right side. Gloved by the second baseman, Rigney. His throw to first base is in time to retire Price. That was actually a pretty good play. Well, actually, more than pretty good. That was a really good play by Ryan Rigney as the ball took kind of an awkward bounce, but he was able to stay with it and make the good throw.
Now batting number 14, Blake Green.
Green wears the number 14 on the back of his jersey. First pitch to him is going to be low for ball one. We're talking about next week's schedule and stopped off at Covington Holy Cross. A week from tomorrow will be the McDonald's Classic. This next pitch is taken for a ball. Runs the count to 2-0. Coming to town that weekend, Powell County, Grant County, Newport Central Catholic. So a good lineup of games to be played next weekend. Here's a fly ball into left field. Johnson at the edge of the bank is able to make the play for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 down brings Brian Vaughn to the plate. Brian, back in the first game against Bluegrass United, cranked a grand slam home run.
Now batting number 32,
today, though, with the bases
Brian
empty.
Vaughn.
Playing over at shortstop defensively. Of course, Brian, he could play anywhere. Next pitch is fouled off and out of play to the right side. 0-1 the count, as it seems as though that Rice maybe has settled down a bit, gotten those butterflies out, just throwing away. He's a senior on a very young Cooper squad. This next pitch is down low. In fact, since I opened the door, I have to count them. 4, 5 seniors on this year's Cooper's team. Outfield straight away, left fielder Johnson deep. Next pitch is going to be a little bit low. This count goes to 2-1 on Brian Vaughn. On deck, hoping for a chance to bat in this opening inning is Lewis. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Evens up the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that means that Rice is just 1 strike away from retiring the side in order here in the bottom of the first inning and preserve his team's current 1-0 lead. Long look in by Rice to Dalcor. Now steps off the back of the rubber. Now everybody seems to be reset. And the pitch is going to be down low for ball 3, and that'll load up the count at 3-2. Vaughn waggles the bat over top his right shoulder, and the payoff pitch is tipped foul into the mitt of Dalcor, a pitch that appeared to be just a tad bit high. So 3 up and 3 down. As we head now to the top of the second, your score, Cooper 1 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
1-0 as we head to the top of the second inning. Cooper getting an unearned run in the first inning to take what is right now a 1-0 lead. Back on the mound for his second inning of work will be Dre Roberts, who started the game. Was able to work around that error and only gave up 1 run, but it could have been a much more disaster than that. This is only the second time that Harrison County and Cooper have met on the baseball field. The only other time was back in May of 2012, some 13 years ago, when Cooper came to town
number 24,
and went back to Union
Dax
with an 8-4 win in a game that took 8 innings. Dax Bolin, Ryan Rigney, and Evan Rice, 3 batters scheduled to come up for Cooper here in the top half of the second inning. Roberts gets the sign from Price. And his first pitch is going to be at the knees for a strike. As we said, Rob Sawyers, the coach of Cooper, in just his second year as the head coach, as the next pitch is down low. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Looks like a few more cars have arrived since we started. Here's a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Persinger calling for it, and will make the grab for out number 1. So 1 down, brings Dak, make that to Ryan
Now
Rigney
batting number 2, Ryan Rigney.
Rigney, the second baseman, and the 8th batter in the order. Rigney is a junior. First delivery to him from Roberts is going to be down low as the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Wind still lofting out towards left field. Not near as strong as it was back on Tuesday. The next pitch is way inside. Had the batter, Rigney, really jackknifing it out of the way of it. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Cooper trying to add on to their current 1-0 advantage. Is over at third base. Reynolds sneaks in on the infield grass. Here's a shot past him and down the left field line for a base hit. That's why they call it the hot corner. Wide turn at first base by Rigney, but getting the ball back into the infield quickly was Green. But still a solid
Now
lift.
batting number 29,
Evan
Evan Rice.
Evan Rice, the pitcher at the plate. Chance to help his own cause here. Rigney will be held on at first base by Persinger. Ninth man in the batting order. Pretty good size lead at first by Rigney. Roberts takes a look over there at him, throws it over there, but that's probably about his C move. Almost counted to 3 before throwing over. But watching him closely is Rigney. First pitch to the plate is going to be tipped foul into the mid of Price for strike 1. A little bit of a late swing that time by Rice. Really crowded the plate. Roberts throw to first. That's a little bit better throw. Got him! In fact, it was a much better throw as he's able to catch Rigney sleeping a bit. So the pickoff goes 1-3. And there now are 2 outs in the inning and nobody on base. 0-1 the count to the batter, Rice. Roberts wheels and deals the next pitch, and it's going to be high and inside. He's evening up the count at 1-1. Roberts winds and fires, and swinging and missing at that off-speed pitch was Rice. His count goes to 1-2 on him. Roberts just 1 strike away from getting out of the inning by facing the minimum after giving up that single. Here's a pitch that really had Rice's legs shaking, but it was low, and count goes at 2-2. Rice doing a little housekeeping of the batter's box before stepping back in. And the break even is inside and low. They'll load up the count again, this time at 3-2. 12 pitches now in the inning so far for Roberts. Flash the sign of the mound, Price to Roberts. And the payoff is taken at the knees for strike 3. And Rice cannot believe it. No runs, there was 1 base hit, there were no errors, but as it ends up, nobody was left on base. We're heading now to the bottom of the second with your score. Cooper 1 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Breds Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Katie Bowman today at 859-595-4234 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
We head to the bottom half of the second inning. Tie this game. They'll be sending the middle third of the order to the plate. Jay Sean Lewis, Jordan Persinger, and then Donovan Walker against the starter, Evan Rice for Cooper. Well, the live YouTube broadcast of this game is proudly brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau, Palmer Hampton Realty, and Farm Credit Mid-America. Visit youtube.com/WCYN Sports.
Now batting number 3,
some baseball.
Jay Sean Lewis.
Lewis having a little trouble getting into the stride of the season. Of course, Coach said it takes usually about 3 weeks for basketball players to get into baseball shape. First delivery to him is going to be a pop-up foul to the left side, now to play for strike 1. Once Lewis gets into the groove, though, he is going to smack that ball all over the place. as is the case for the rest of our baseball players who played basketball. 0-1 pitch is on the inside part of the plate, and Lewis quickly finds himself in the hole 0-2. As Evan Rice really cooking right now. Trying to retire his 4th straight batter to start the game. Wind and the pitch is smacked foul down the left side. So the count will remain, no balls and 2 strikes. As we said, the Breds will travel to Lewis County tomorrow. Only problem really about their baseball field over there is it's far away from the parking lot. They have a little, what they call an access road that goes between the parking lot and the field, but it's just kind of sit out there by itself. It's a nice field, though. Been there a couple times. Next pitch is outside and high as the count goes to 1-2 on Lewis. Leadoff batter for the Breds here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Out in center field, Nick Ranero playing the batter to pull. Here's a slice to the left side that's going to drop out of play. A couple of 2-strike foul balls by Lewis have kept him alive in this plate appearance. So really battling with Jordan Persinger on deck, awaiting his chance to bat here in the 2nd. Next pitch is a little looper, fair down the left field line. Lewis rounding first and heading towards 2nd. Here comes the throw, and in time sliding is Lewis for the double. He just never did stop as he rounded first going to 2nd. Left fielder Carson Johnson made
now
a nice
batting
throw.
number 17,
just didn't get there
Jordan
in time.
Persinger.
I'll bring Jordan Persinger to the plate. Persinger, the first baseman. Let's see. Loop to left. Left-handed batter. First pitch is swatted into center field, but right at the center fielder, Nick Ranero. He'll get it back into the infield quickly. So Persinger really hit it on the screws. It was just straight at a fielder. So with 1 out, that runner's still at 2nd base. Donovan Walker will come to the plate.
Now batting number 22, Donovan Walker.
Walker, the 3rd consecutive left-hander in our batting order. Might want to mix that up a little bit. Check of the runner at 2nd base by the pitcher Rice, and the pitch is outside low for a ball. Breds scored 4 runs. Make that 6 runs in the first 2 innings in their victory over Bluegrass United. Here's a batted ball to the right side, backhanded by the first baseman Bolin. He'll outrace Walker to the bag for the 2nd out. On the play, going to 3rd base was Lewis. So with a runner on 3rd, a potential tying run just 90 feet away, and 2 outs, Dre Roberts will come to the plate with a chance to help his own
Now
cause.
batting number 35, Dre Roberts.
Roberts, a junior. When he's not on the mound, you'll normally see him at 3rd base. From the stretch, the pitcher Rice. Check of the runner and the pitch to the plate. He's going to find the outside part for strike 1. We're in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Harrison County trailing 1-0, but threatening to at least tie the score if Roberts can get a base hit. Stands in there with an 0-1 count on him. And the pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2 now the count to Roberts. Cooper Slade on deck. Be nice if we'll give Cooper a chance to bat in this inning, because it probably means that Lewis scored from 3rd. From the stretch, Rice. And the 0-2 is tipped foul. So Roberts staying alive. That one kind of bit the catcher, Jordan Dalcor. Coach comes to check him out. He says he's fine. It's one of the hazards of playing behind the plate. Roberts Takes a couple of practice swings before stepping back in the box. Lewis, who began the inning with a bloop single to left, takes his lead. And the 0-2 again is inside this time. This count goes to 1-2. Infielders playing straight away pretty much. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And that will be the inning. No runs. There was one base hit. No errors, one left. As we head now to the top of the third, your score remains Cooper 1 and Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Doug Hampton today at 859-588-7120 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
WCYN 1400 AM and 101.3 FM.
Alrighty, back here today. Right now it's the visiting Jaguars from up around Cooper. It's in Union, Kentucky, leading 1-0. Top of the order coming up for the Jaguars: Jade Dwayne, Brogan Scott, and Blaine Smith to go up against Roberts. Will begin his third inning of work. The starter for Harrison County through his first 2 innings has only thrown 23 pitches. He's only given up one base hit. That was to Blaine Smith, while striking out 2. Actually, he's given up 2 hits. Well, they've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now. Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 and learn more about it. Dwayne reached on air his first time up when a pop-up in the infield fell between 2 Harrison County fielders. He eventually came around to score the only run. First pitch here is outside and high for ball 1. Playing over at third base today, Roberts working quickly, gets the sign, and the next pitch is going to be down low once again. 2 balls and no strikes to count to Dwayne. Sun has decided to stay out for a while, although it's very windy. Next pitch is on the inside part of the plate for a strike. 2-1 the count to the leadoff batter for Cooper here in the top of the third inning. Not sure if the Reds are playing in the Cactus League tonight or not. This next pitch is taken for strike 2 as the count evens up at 2-2. The Reds under 500, which is disappointing considering we got a really good manager now in Terry Francona and just about all our position players back from last year. We should be, instead of 9-15, we should be 15-9. But maybe they're getting all that rust and stuff out of their system here in spring training, and by the time they head north, everything will be good. The wind by Roberts, and the pitch is smacked off the outstretched glove of the diving third baseman Boston Reynolds for a base hit. That's a couple of heaters that have come his way. So runner on first base, and nobody out for Brogan Scott. Scott had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Stands in there now over at first base. Dwayne being held on by Persinger. Squaring to bunt once again is Scott. Brings the bat back as the pitch is inside. Here's a throw to second base that will not be in time. There's a ball. 1-0 the count. So give Dwayne the stolen base. And a potential another run for Cooper now in scoring position. They right now lead 1-0. Here's a fake throw back to second, but the runner on second, Dwayne, had really not gotten that far. Roberts takes another look just to make sure. And the next pitch is going to be high and outside. That time, Scott did not show bunt. This count goes to 2-0. Center fielder Jaysean Lewis playing the batter fairly shallow, while left fielder Green is back at the edge of the bank. Here's a shot that's right to him. Gets the ball back in the infield quickly, but the first out of the inning is recorded. So if the runner's still at second and one out, Blaine Smith, the designated hitter, coming to the plate.
Now batting number 15, Blaine Smith.
Smith batting for the center fielder, Nick Renero. As the home plate umpire dusts off the plate. Well, baseball pretty much in full swing now across the state. As those teams that maybe have not gotten a chance to play yet will be playing either tomorrow or the next day. Well, not the next day, but either today or tomorrow. Roberts gets the sign from Price, takes a look back at second base where Dwayne has a short lead. The pitch is just a little bit inside for ball one. That was close. Of course, all our games determined by the weather, especially here early. Next pitch is a pop-up on the right side in foul territory. Persinger chasing after it, but it's going to land a good 10 feet in behind the fence, evening up the count at 1-1. Okay, y'all ready? Reed, you ready? Everybody ready? Okay. Do you have a big group to feed?
1-1.
Thought so. That's better than the other night. Snappy Tomato Beast Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627. That's 235. Reed, where are you? A delayed? You're doing a delayed snap? Yeah, okay. So it's bouncing all over the place. 1-1 the count to Smith. Roberts takes a look back at second, and the delivery is going to hit him in the back. Gosh dang it. So a free pass given to Smith puts runners on first and second. Still just one out in the inning for the cleanup batter, Ty Aragon. Aragon reached on an error when he came to bat before, but was awarded with an RBI.
Now batting number 40, Ty Aragon.
Now a visit to the mound by Price to make sure that he and Roberts are on the same page. Roberts struggling here in the third inning. Now we're ready to go back again. As the runner on first base, Blaine Smith, adjusting the running gloves. Down at second base, Dwayne takes his lead. He began the inning with a single down the left field line. Next pitch is a pop-up in the infield, or actually in foul territory, and it's going to keep on sailing until it flies over the dugout. So 0-1 the count to Aragon. Pace of this game, a little bit slow. But that's okay. It's baseball. It's allowed to go slow. We'll see the fast stuff tonight when the Cats go to Milwaukee, and hopefully we'll take a piece of Troy with them. Here's a shot foul down the left side. But as I said, Troy is easy to beat. But if Robbie joins Troy, then it's going to be difficult. Looking down to get the sign from his third base coach is Aragon. He has a 1-1 count on him. Wandering away from the second base bag is Dwayne. Aragon wheeling the bat around. Now he's got himself all wound up. Next pitch is a bouncer to the left side. Reynolds has it. He'll pop to second for 1 out. The return to first is in time. A nice 6-4-3 double play, and especially on the back end with first baseman Persinger digging that one out of the dirt to make sure he got the double play. So in the inning, no runs. There was 1 base hit. There were no errors, and 1 man left aboard. So we head to the bottom of the third. Your score, Cooper 1, Harrison County nothing. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Reds, come down and see the boys.
All righty, back here on the hilltop. Bottom of the third, your score is the same as it has been the last couple of innings, 1-0. Cooper, who scored in the top of the first inning. Meanwhile, Evan Rice, the starter for the Jaguars, has retired 6 of the first 7 batters he's faced. We'll be facing 8, 9, and 1 in the Reds batting order here in this inning. Starting out with Cooper Slade,
number 16,
Simon Jenkins, and then back to the top of the
Slade.
order and Keen Price. Slade, the second baseman. First pitch to him is going to be at the knees for strike 1. A couple of strikeouts have been thrown by Rice. Both the third out of the inning.
I lost you.
Next pitch is taken for a strike. Or did he say it was a little outside? 1-1 the count. Getting the sign from his catcher, Dalcor, is Rice, and the next pitch is just a little bit outside. 2-1 the count. Slade wears the number 16 on the back of his jersey, junior. And another basketball player. Next pitch is stroked into left center field, and it's going to drop in there for a base hit. Good job by left fielder Carter Johnson to get that ball back into the infield quickly, but it was hit so hard and got out there so fast that Slade had little chance to get anything more than the single he got.
Number 36, Simon Jenkins.
Simon Jenkins, the designated hitter to the plate now. Batting for the third baseman, Boston Reynolds. Over at third, Dwayne in on the infield grass as the first pitch is up high for ball 1. Jenkins did not show bunt that time, but it might have been because the pitch was so high. Yeah, over at third base, Dwayne about 10 steps in. Over at first base, Slade being held on by Bolin, and now a throw that direction is not in time. Shadow of the third base dugout starting to crawl over the third base line. And the pitch is outside and high again. So the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Phillies were scheduled to start 10 minutes ago, but I still have not seen the West Jessamine bus. So they're going to get a late start tonight. Next pitch is outside. 3 balls and no strikes, the count to Jenkins. Look for him to be taking all the way on this pitch. And then it's back to the top of the order, and Keen Price. Check of the runner. And Rice's pitch is taken all the way as we suspected. It finds the outside part of the plate, though, for strike one. Harrison County trailing 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. But trying to parlay an opening base hit by Slade into a run. 3-1 pitch is a bouncer to the right side. Picked up by the first baseman Bolin for one. He will not try to get the runner at second. So basically the same effect as a sacrifice bunt in that Slade has moved to second base with one out. Back to the top now, and Keen Price, who grounded out to second his first time up.
Number 26, Keen Price.
Price gets the sign from Coach Whitaker in the third base coaching box before stepping back in. A coolish day here on the hilltop. Game time temperature was about 55. Here's a pop-up foul to the right side. 0-1 the count on Price. Well, like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm Insurance is there. Are you looking for a new quote? Give Joe a call at 859-234-3813. Joe always supports the Breds and the Phillies. The 0-1 pitch is bounced away from the catcher Dalcor and on to third base on the wild pitch will go Slade. So the Breds now have the potential tying run just 90 feet away. Let's see if Price can get him in. Tie this thing up. Price wheels the bat around as Rice gets the sign. And the pitch is going to be down low. This count goes 2-1. Infield in for the Jaguars, trying to cut a potential run down at the plate. Now the shortstop and second baseman, Scott and Rigney, respectively, will back up. Here's a pitch and foul off again. That'll even things up at 2-2. 1 on, 1 out for the Breds here in the bottom of the third. Breds 2-0. Cooper 0-1 here in the early season. Number 26 wheels the bat around. And the break even is a high chopper to the third base side. The third baseman decides to come home with it, and it's going to hit the back end of the runner, Cooper Slade. And on the errorful throw down to second base, on a good heads-up play, is Price. So the Breds have tied the score at 1-1. It was a perfect hop to the third baseman, Duane, but instead of throwing it to the inside or to the outside of the runner, he threw it right at his back, and the ball bounded away. So the Breds score their first run on an error.
Now batting number 14, Blake Green.
They'll bring Blake Green to the plate. Have a courtesy runner down at second base. Sawyer Craycraft running for Keen Price at second base. Home plate umpire marks it down in his billfold. Let's see. Next pitch is a bouncer back to the mound. The pitcher, Rice, has the runner caught between second and third. Craycraft trying to outrun it, but is going to be tagged out for out number 2 of the inning. Ball was hit straight back to the mound. There was not a thing that Craycraft could have done. He was just kind of caught out there in no man's land and is tagged out. 1-6.
Now batting number 32,
fortunately on that play,
Brian Vaughn.
Green made it to second base. So the Breds still with the potential go-ahead run in scoring position. However, there are now 2 outs in the inning. 2 outfielders' choice. Brian Vaughn at the plate. He struck out his first time up. Check of the runner. And the pitch is going to be outside and low. Breds with their first run in this inning. Cooper had gone ahead 1-0 with a run in the top of the first. Look back at second. And the pitch is going to be a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Second baseman Rigney calling for it. And he will make the grab for out number 3. But the Reds pick up a run in the inning. It came courtesy of one base hit. There was one error committed by the defense for Cooper. And the Reds had one man left on base. So as we head now to the top of the 4th, your score, Harrison County 1 and Cooper likewise. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Ronnie Brown today at 502-542-1984 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Harrison County and Cooper are all lined up at 1 apiece. Through the first couple of innings, Cooper a run on 3 hits. They have committed 1 error and left 3 runners stranded. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, a run on 2 hits. They've committed 2 errors and have left 2 runners on board. Here in the top of the 4th, Dre Roberts back for his 4th inning of work, the starter for Harrison County. He'll be facing the middle third of the order, actually 5, 6, and 7 for Cooper, and Jordan Dalcor, Carson Johnson, and Dax Bolin. Dalcor struck out his first time up.
Now batting number 33, Jordan Dalcor.
Cooper with an early loss in the season, falling to Grant County 10-3 back on Wednesday, trying to bounce back from that. Here's a shot down the left field line by Dalcor, and this one's going to hit the fence on a hop. Getting the ball back into the infield quickly is Harrison County's left fielder Green, but sliding in safely with the leadoff double is Jordan Dalcor. They're going to say he wandered away from the bag, and good heads-up play by Cooper Slade, who tags him out, so the double will go for naught. Wow. That's an early season lesson that Dalcor will
now
not
batting
forget.
Number 37,
I'm sure he'll be reminded of it
Johnson.
several times by his coaches and teammates. So the out goes 4 unassisted. So 1 out, nobody on for Carson Johnson. First pitch is high and inside for a ball. Johnson, a fly ball out to right field his first time up. And we have really got our outfield wheeled around for this guy to pull the ball. Lots of room down the right field line if he can go the opposite direction. Next pitch is outside and low. This count goes 2-0. But yeah, that pickoff of Dalcor by Cooper Slade, a continuing lesson that when you're on the baseball field, you have always got to pay attention. You never know who might have the ball in his glove, and you don't realize it. Meeting on the mound between the battery and third baseman Boston Reynolds, who comes in to join the conversation as well. At El Paracutan, daily lunch specials and the always popular buffet are calling your name. Plan a visit soon to the Harrison Square and enjoy a meal at El Paracutan. Flashing the sign to the mound, Price to Roberts, and the pitch. It's going to be up high, a check swing. Count goes to 3-0. 1-1 your score. Top of the 4th inning. And the sun has gone back behind the clouds again. Next pitch is inside for ball 4. So the 1-out walk delivered to Johnson will bring Dax Bolin to the plate.
Now batting number 24, Dax Bolin.
Bowling a pop-up to first when he came to bat before. Now over at first base, Johnson being held on by Persinger. Glance over there by Roberts. And the throw, that's close, but not quite in time. Roberts has kind of danced around danger in all 4 of his innings, but so far has given up just 1 run. Next pitch is right down home plate, right down Main Street for strike 1. We invite you to join us next week when we'll be carrying the boys' Sweet 16, all 15 games starting next Wednesday. Here's a pop-up on the right side. Persinger reaches over, but it's just beyond his outstretched glove. So just simply strike 2. Runner on first and 1 out for Cooper here in the 4th inning. Bowling, the 7th place batter in the order. A little bit of a lead at first base by Johnson. A couple of looks over there by Roberts. And now he'll step off the rubber to reset. Roberts, another one of those juniors we were talking about before. And the pitch is going to hit him in the backside. Second time a batter for the Cooper Jaguars has been hit by a pitch. So first and second, 1 out.
Now batting number 2, Ryan Wrigley.
Wrigley's a single. His first time up. He was later picked off. Roberts trying to preserve the 1-1 tie we're in right now here in the top of the 4th, but the Jaguars are threatening with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. Here's a shot to center field, going back Lewis. He's got a beat on it and will make the grab for out number 2. So a 2 down, the 9th place batter and pitcher, Evan Rice, will come to the plate.
Now batting number 29, Evan Rice.
Rice struck out looking his first time up. One of a couple of strikeouts thrown today by Roberts. And a visit to the mound. I'm sure they've got Dre on a pitch count. Let's see, he's got 1, 5, 8, 9, 46 pitches. Of course, I'm not sure what Coach wants to accomplish as far as his pitch count is concerned, so he's going to leave him in there for now. Roberts just trying to get out of the inning now. And they're going to give him a chance to. You got to have these kids learn how to get out of trouble even at this early at the part of the season. First pitch is outside and low for a ball. Now, having said that, I'm going to guess if Rice does get on base, he may be lifted for someone else. 2 on, 2 out, 1-1 score. Check of the runner, and the pitch to the plate is a pop-up foul behind the plate. Price chasing after it, but it lands on the opposite side of the fence. 1-1 the count to Rice. Need to get Rice out because after him, we go back to the top of the order. We also want to end this Jaguar potential scoring threat as well. From the stretch, Roberts checking the runner at second, and the pitch is at the knees for a strike. Good pitch. Now Rice finds himself in the hole, 1-2. Flashing the sign to the mound, Price to his battery mate. Now stepping out of the batter's box is Rice to collect himself. Dalcor at second. Carson Johnson at first. And the pitch is taken at the knees for strike 3. Another Joe Cochran at State Farm strikeout by Evan Rice to end the inning. No runs. There was 1 base hit. No errors and 2 left. We're heading now to the bottom of the 4th. Your score remains Harrison County 1 and Cooper 1. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Trish Jenkins today at 859-588-5590 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
982-889.
All right, back here at the Hilltop, 1-1 your score. As we head to the bottom of the fourth, it'll be Lewis, Persinger, and Walker coming to the plate against the starter Evan Rice, who's only given up 2 base hits so far in the ball game and 1 unearned run. Lewis, in his only previous at bat, got one of those 2 hits, a double.
Now
A
batting
little looper
number
that
3,
fell in
Jayshawn
left
Lewis.
field. The wind and the first pitch is going to be up high for a ball. Outfield playing Jayshawn very deep, as they should. Next pitch is inside again as the count goes to 2-0 on the leadoff batter for the Breds here in the bottom of the fourth. Wheels the bat around, does the left-hander. And Rice's pitch is going to be at the knees for a strike. It's an awfully low strike. The count goes to 2-1. This game, the only game, there's no JV game afterwards. Next pitch is fouled straight back. That leaving things up at 2-2. For over 70 years, Weber's Sausage has delivered the best Kentucky flavor to your breakfast table. From the first sizzle to the last bite, it's a taste you can trust. Find them in your favorite meat department. The wind and the break even is swung on and missed for strike 3. So 1 up and 1 down. That is the third strikeout delivered by Rice in the ballgame. Jordan Persinger to the plate now.
Now
Persinger
batting number
hit
17,
one
Jordan
mile,
Persinger.
but it was a little too high, and the center fielder, Nick Raniero, caught it deep in the center field position. Next pitch is up high for a ball. Persinger, a left-hander. Sophomore. Next pitch is fouled out of play to the left side. Runs the count even at 1-1. Phillies supposed to play West Jessamine. And I just see a bunch of people sitting around. And no West Jessamine bus as the next pitch is cued off the end of the bat by Persinger. Count goes to 1-2. Boy, have you noticed how green everything's gotten the last few days? All it took was a little moisture. And now it's almost to the point where I have to mow my lawn. But we'll get that done. Next pitch is low and inside, evening up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Persinger takes a look at the barrel of the bat before stepping into the box. And Rice's break even is a bouncer to the right side, fielded cleanly by Rigney, the second baseman. His throw to first is in time for out number 2. So 2 down and nobody on for Donovan Walker. Walker, a ground ball to first base when he came to bat before.
Now batting number 22, Donovan Walker.
We're talking about how well that Roberts has pitched today. We got to mention that Rice is pitching pretty well too. Here's a bouncing ball to the right side, gloved once again by Rigney. Throw to first in time, and for the second time in the ball game, the Breds go down 1-2-3. So as we head now to the top of the fifth, your score remains Harrison County 1 and Cooper 1. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
All righty, top of the fifth. Coming up, 1-1 your score. It'll be the top of the order batting for Cooper. Jaden Dwayne, Brogan Scott, and Blaine Smith back out on the mound. The starter for Harrison County, Dre Roberts, who got himself out of a little jam last inning and is being rewarded by getting another chance on the mound. Your numbers through the first four show Cooper a run on 4 hits. They've committed 1 error and left 5 runners stranded. Meanwhile, for the Thorobreds, they have a run as well on 2 base hits. The Breds have committed 2 errors and left 2 runners stranded. Top of the fifth. Dwayne has been on base twice, reached on air and scored the lone run of the game for Cooper back in the first. Then in the third inning,
Jaden Dwayne.
He singled down the left field line and stole second, but died there. The wind and the pitch is going to be taken up high for ball 1. That's only the 51st pitch thrown by Roberts today, so keeping that pitch count low. Next delivery is going to be smacked down the left field line. Chasing after it will be Green, and it's going to hit off the fence on a hop. Green gets the ball back in the infield quickly, but sliding in safely is Dwayne, starting things off here in the 5th inning. It's the third time today that Dwayne has been on base.
Scott.
And both times he has smacked the ball hard down the left field line. That'll bring Brogan Scott to the plate. Scott has had a sacrifice bunt. He's also had a fly ball out to left field. But potentially for Cooper, the go-ahead run in scoring position now. Here in the top of the 5th inning. Over at third, Reynolds steps in on the infield grass as the pitch is delivered. It's down low. There was no indication from Scott that he might be bunting, which means absolutely nothing because he gets square around this time as well. Slade trying to keep Dwayne close at second. As the pitch is delivered, high and inside, and that had Scott ducking out of the way. This count goes to 2-0. Doesn't look like anyone's in the bullpen, so if Roberts is replaced, he'll be from somebody on the field. Now somebody is starting to warm up, just as I said that. Going to the bullpen is Simon Jenkins. Next pitch is a high fly ball into left field. Green is there to make the grab for out number 1. Good closing speed that time shown by Green as that ball was falling quickly.
Now batting number 15, Blaine Smith.
Blaine Smith, the designated hitter to the plate now. He's been on base twice as well. Singled back in the first. He's also been hit by a pitch. Roberts takes a look at second base where Dwayne is. And the pitch is swung on and missed. A nice changeup that actually caught Smith out in front of it. For strike 1. Smith, a senior, one of those 6 seniors we talked about. Oh, and now we got a ball call. Is that when Roberts was going into his motion? I don't know if he slipped on the mound or just lost his balance, but had to balk. And that will put the potential go-ahead run at third base for Cooper with just one out in the inning and an 0-1 count on the batter. Oh, it's unfortunate. Infield moves in for the Breds to try to cut off the run at the plate. And here comes the runner. He stops halfway. Pitch is taken for strike 2. So 0-2 the count on Smith on what at first appeared to be a potential steal of home plate, but Dwayne backed off. And wisely so. He would have been dead to rights. Roberts takes a glance over to third base. And now will step off the rubber as time is called. Smith, the third place batter in the batting order. And being that he is the designated hitter, you assume that he's probably a pretty good hitter. Out in left field, Green right at the edge of the bank. The other 2 outfielders playing deep as well. They want something to go over their heads here. It's about getting close to time to turn the lights on. Next pitch is outside. Nice stop that time by Price as the count goes to 1-2. Simon Jenkins warming up in the pen should Roberts continue to have difficulties here. Long look in to get the sign. And the pitch is going to be inside again, and that'll leave it up the count at 2-2. Cooper took a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. The Breds tied them up in the third. That's been all the scoring. Break-even pitch outside and low for ball 3. Loads up the count at 3-2. So a big pitch coming, especially for Roberts. Infield playing more halfway now than in as they were before. Payoff pitch is a pop-up on the left side. Going into the outfield grass is Brian Vaughn, and he'll make the grab for out number 2. Big, great pitch that time by Roberts. So with the potential go-ahead run still at third, the cleanup batter, Ty Aragon to the plate. Aragon drove in the only run of the game for Cooper back in the first. He's also grounded into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Roberts toes the rubber as Aragon steps into the batter's box. Aragon, a senior. From the stretch, Roberts' first pitch is a fly ball into left field. The ballpark is going to hold it as Green is there to make the grab for out number 3. So once again, for the second inning in a row, a good job of getting himself out of trouble by Roberts. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left on board. We're heading to the bottom of the 5th. Your score remains Harrison County 1 and Cooper 1. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Downtown Cynthiana.
Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop. At the bottom of the fifth inning of a 1-1 game. It'll be the bottom third of the order coming up for the Breds. Dre Roberts, Cooper Slade, and Simon Jenkins going up against the pitching of Evan Rice, the starter for Cooper, who has gone the whole way and has pitched very well, giving up just a couple of base hits. Well, the live YouTube broadcast of this game is proudly brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau, Palmer Hampton Realty, and Farm Credit Mid-America. Visit youtube.com/WCYN
Now batting
Sports.
number 35, Dre Roberts.
We'll have all the home games on it, maybe? Yes, we will. So if you can't get to the game in person, you can watch it on YouTube. First pitch swinging is Roberts, a pop-up to the right side of the infield, calling forth the second baseman, Rigney. And one pitch, one up and one down, as Rice has now retired the last 5 in a row. None of the balls leaving the infield. In fact, they've all been to the right side.
Now batting number 16,
a couple
Cooper
of pop-ups
Slade.
and a couple of ground outs that direction. Cooper Slade sends one into left field. Johnson there to make the grab for out number 2. So 2 pitches, 2 up and 2 down. Now bring Simon Jenkins back to the
number
plate.
36, Simon Jenkins.
Jenkins DHing for the third baseman, Boston Reynolds. In his only other plate appearance, he bounced out to the first baseman. Now we'll try to start a 2-out rally. First pitch to him is outside for ball 1. Working quickly is Rice. And the pitch is going to be down low once again as the count goes to 2-0. Cynthia Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's at Hardee's in Cynthiana. 2-0 delivery is going to be high and inside this time to Jenkins, so a 3-0 count on the Breds DH. I'm going to guess that Jenkins will be watching this ball all the way. 2 out, nobody on. The pitch is taken inside, ball 4. So the potential go-ahead run on base for Harrison County as we head back to the top of the order, and Keen Price. Meeting on the mound between the pitcher and his third baseman, Jaden Dwayne.
Now
Price
batting number 26, Keen Price.
Price 0 for 2 officially, grounded out to second back in the first, then grounded into a fielder's choice in the third. Been a good pitcher's duel today between Dre Roberts and Evan Rice. And now coach calls Price to come about halfway between third and home to have a conversation about something. Now that that conversation is over, we'll get back to baseball. For over 70 years, Weber's Sausage has delivered the best Kentucky flavor to your breakfast table. From the first sizzle to the last bite, it's a taste you can trust. Find them in your favorite meat department. Here's a throw to first, but diving back in plenty of time was Jenkins. As Price stands back in. Glance over to first base by Rice. And the pitch is going to be slugged into right center field. This might drop, and it does drop. Rounding second, and now stopping there is Jenkins. As it ends up, he might have been able to make it, but you want to make sure at this stage of the game you don't run yourself out of an inning, and the last thing you want to do is make either the first out or the last out at third base.
Now batting number 14,
so good piece of hitting.
Blake Green.
Blake Green at the plate now with the potential go-ahead run in scoring position now. Green has had a fly ball out to center field and reached on a fielder's choice, and now Coach Sawyer's heading to the mound, and that might be the end of the day for Evan Rice, who retired the first 2 batters, but then walked Simon Jenkins on 4 pitches before giving up that base hit to Price. Conversation on the mound continues. Sawyer Craycraft will run for Price. Get a little more foot speed on the base paths. The conversation continues on out there on the mound for Cooper. in only the second ever meeting between these two schools. Harrison County trying to avenge that loss from some 13 years ago. Conversation on the mound over, and we'll get back to baseball with Green at the plate. Blake finds you a good one to hit and send it into a gap somewhere, and let's break this tie. Down at second base, Jenkins, who has decent speed, takes his lead. Here's a bouncer in front of the plate, and on down to third base will go the runner Jenkins on a wild pitch. So runners on the corners now for the Thorobreds, which opens up a hole on the right side because now Craycraft has to be held on by Dax Bolin, the first baseman. So a big hole on the left side, a big hole on the right side. Go ahead run just 90 feet away. Come on, Blake, let's find you a base hit somewhere. 1-0 pitch is smacked up the middle, and it's going to be dropping in there for a base hit. Coming home to score will be Jenkins, and Harrison County has taken their first lead of the game at 2-1 on the RBI single by Blake Green. Good hitting. Give him the RBI as well.
Now batting number 32,
coming home to score
Brian Vaughn.
Was Jenkins with a tie-breaking run here in the bottom of the fifth inning. At the plate now, Brian Vaughn. Brian is 0 for 2. Strikeout and a pop-up to second. Reds up 2-1 with single runs in the third and now here in the fifth. First pitch is, that was right on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Reds already 2-0 on the year, trying to make it 3-0, but we still got a couple innings left to go. That's why we need another run. Now a wild pitch gets past the catcher, Dalcor, and on down to third base goes Craycraft. So the second wild pitch of the inning. Maybe making Coach Sawyer second guess himself when he went out to the mound earlier in the frame in a move that I thought was going to find him down on the bench, but not the case. Now the catcher, Dalcor, giving a sign to the rest of the infield and outfield on how his coach wants to play this first and third situation with 2 outs. Harrison County's made a lot of hay in this situation in the past. Here goes the runner from first to second. A fly ball down the left field line, but out of play. And it was a good 15 feet foul. So the count goes to 1-2 on Vaughn. If you're out in the outfield, turn your headlights off before you turn on your car. The batters don't like that. Thank you. From the stretch, Rice checks the runners. And now time is called as Green was starting to wander away from the bag, which is what he's doing right now, being held on by Bolin. 1-2 delivery. Here goes the runner. The pitch is going to hit the batter, Vaughn, in the backside, though. And that will load the bases with Thorobreds with 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Reds leading 2-1. Jay-Sean Lewis coming to the plate. This is why Jay-Sean is in this particular part of the lineup, so that he can come up in situations like this.
Jay-Sean Lewis.
Lewis had a looping double back in the second inning. He's also struck out. Now we'll try to make contact and get a run or 2 home. Craycraft running for Price at third. Green's at second. Brian Vaughn at first. And the first pitch to Jay-Sean's a pop-up on the right side of the infield. Second baseman Rigney waiting and makes the grab for out number 3. But the Thorobreds do come up with a run in the inning. They did it courtesy of a couple of base hits and a couple of walks. There were no errors, and the bases were left loaded. But as we head now to the top of the 6th-year score, Harrison County 2 and Cooper 1. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love. I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Now Harrison County has taken the lead at 2-1. Your numbers through the first 5 show Cooper a run on 5 hits. They've committed an error and left 6 runners stranded. Meanwhile, for the Thoroughbreds, 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors. We've left 5 on. Back on the mound for his 6th inning of work, the starter for Harrison County, Dre Roberts, who a couple of innings ago was right on the cusp of being taken out. Now, I don't know if Coach decided to keep him in on his own or if Dre pled his case and won. Jordan Dalcor, Carson Johnson, and Dax Bullen, 5, 6, and 7 in the batting order coming up for Cooper. First pitch is going to be a little high for ball 1. Dalcor struck out back in the first and then hit a double in the 4th. So the next pitch is swung on and missed, and in that double in the 4th, after he got to second base, he took a step off of the bag for whatever reason. Time had not been called, and Cooper Slade tagged him out, preserving, at that time, the 1-1 tie. Here's a bouncer foul at the plate. This count goes to 1-2. Yeah. Roberts rocking right along right now. He's been blessed with a 1-run lead. Choking up on the bat handle about an inch is Dalcor, and the pitch is outside. Count goes even at 2-2. And now Keen Price will make a visit to the mound. Okay, girls, you ready? Reed, Sean, you got to do it. All right. Do you have a big group to feed? Snappy Tomatoes Beast Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627. That's 235. Better, Reed. Sean, where were you, my man? All right. I see. We're in the 6th inning, yes. Roberts gets the sign, and the pitch is going to find the inside part of the plate for strike 3, and I tell you what, Jordan Dalcor is livid. Absolutely livid as he heads back to the dugout with the first out. That's Joe Cochran at State Farm
batting
strikeout.
number 37, Carson Johnson.
3. It's 4 strikeouts on the day for Roberts. And now Coach Sawyer's coming in to have a chat with the home plate umpire as well about that pitch, which was, honestly, from my angle, a little bit high and a little bit inside. But as I say, we'll take it. And now Coach Sawyer's was slowly starting back to the dugout. Oh, and now the home plate umpire is going to talk to the field umpire, and this is never good. It's like a review in the NCAA. This will not turn out good for Harrison County. So the first base umpire is also going to agree to the strikeout. Thank you, field umpire. So with 1 out, nobody on, Carson Johnson to the plate. Johnson walked his last time up. Oh, thank you very much. We have good waitresses around here. Wind, and the first pitch is taken for a strike. 1 out, nobody on for Cooper here in the top of the 6th inning. Harrison County leads 2-1. Roberts working more quickly now than he was before as well. Although the next pitch goes outside low, evening up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield playing the batter to pull. Roberts' next pitch is going to be inside low as the count goes 2-1. Remember, tomorrow we will be in Vanceburg taking on the Lewis County Lions. Hopefully we'll come away with a victory there after we get a victory here. That game tomorrow is at high noon. Line and the 2-1 is going to find the outside part of the plate for a strike. Now that was a legit strike. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Man, that fried bologna smells good. My mouth's watering. Break-even pitch is a bouncer at the plate, but it bounced up and hit the batter inside the batter's box, so merely a strike, which keeps the count at 2-2. Next week, we'll be here at home on Monday against Paris. On Tuesday, Bishop Brossard comes calling. And on Thursday, we'll host Covington Holy Cross. All games slated to start at around 5:30. Next pitch is outside. That'll run the count full at 3-2. Been a good pitcher's duel today between Evan Rice of Cooper and our own Dre Roberts. And what I believe is his first varsity start, so he's going to be very valuable. No doubt about it. 5 and 6 is 11. He's thrown 73 pitches, which is getting to be the top side of his pitching outing. Here's a pop-up fielded by Cooper Slade on the right side. Cooper had to go to the length of his 5-inch vertical leap to bring that one down.
Now batting number 24, Dax Bolin.
For Dax Bolin. Bolin has popped out to first. He's also been hit by a pitch. The 7th place batter in the order. Harrison leads 2-1. We're in the top of the 6th. Roberts' pitch is going to be high for a ball. Can't tell if the Phillies, the Phillies are playing now against West Jasmine. Lady Colts finally showed up. But that's what they get for living on the south side of Lexington at rush hour. 2-0 the count to the batter, Bolin. Roberts gets the sign from Price. And the pitch is a bouncer to the left side. Brian Vaughn is there to scoop it up. Fires to first in time to retire the batter for the 3rd out of the inning. And for the first time in the ball game, Cooper goes down 1, 2, 3. So as we head now to the bottom of the 6th, your score remains Harrison County 2 and Cooper 1. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Katie Bowman today at 859-595-4234 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
1.3 FM.
Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop here at the with a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning where Persinger, Walker, and Roberts will bat against Evan Rice, who's gone the distance so far for Cooper, matching almost pitch by pitch with Dre Roberts, but Harrison County with the lead right now at 2-1, scoring an unearned run in the
now
3rd.
Now batting number 17, Jordan Persinger.
In the 5th inning to take what is right now a 2-1 lead. Persinger at the plate 0 for 2, a fly ball to center and a ground out to second. First pitch is down low for ball 1. That's the 72nd pitch thrown by Evan Rice. Oh, thank you. It's coming in phases. Next pitch is going to hit Persinger on the backside. So he'll get a free pass on down to first base. Let's see, that is the first batter for Harrison County hit by a pitch today. They'll bring Donovan
now
Walker
batting
to the plate.
number 22, Donovan Walker.
Walker has had a ground ball out to first base. He's also had a grounder to second. And now going to the mound to have a chat with his battery mate, his Dalcor, to make sure that everyone's on the same page with that runner at first base and nobody out. Reds would love to have some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. At El Paracutan, daily lunch specials and the always popular buffet are calling your name. Plan a visit soon to the Harrison Square and enjoy a meal at El Paracutan. Of course, the NCAA first round going on. First pitch is low and inside for ball one. The Cats play in 10 minutes against Troy, but not Robbie. Wheeling the bat around Walker, 1-1 count or 1-0 count on him. Short lead at first base by Persinger, and now the next pitch is cued off to the end of the bat, foul by the Reds right fielder, evening up the count at 1-1. Some interesting games yesterday. Calipari wins, taking Arkansas over Kansas. So now Patino versus Cal in the next round. How about that? Couldn't have planned it any better than that. Of course, all we care about right now is Troy. We want to beat the Trojans and move on to the second game of the NCAA tournament. Next pitch is a check swing. He did indeed check in time as the count goes to 2-1. Of course, Alabama State with the shot of the tournament so far, that last second tip in against St. Francis in one of the play-in games in Dayton. Exciting basketball. Just like what happened over in Winchester, or in Mount Sterling the other day. Here's a bunt, bunted at but missed by Walker. Snap throw down to first base is not in time. This count goes even at 2-2. Caden Reed hitting a buzzer-beating three-pointer to break a 56-56 tie and send the Indians to the Sweet 16 for just the third time in their history and the first time in 12 years. They'll represent the 10th region against the 15th region champions, Lawrence County, in the first round. That tournament will begin next Wednesday. We'll have all 15 games for you right here on WCYN Sports. It's a long week, but it's a good week. This is the best time of year. Sweet 16, first and second rounds of the NCAA. Just doesn't get much better than that. Break-even pitch is outside and high, and that will load up the count at 3-2. Reds trying to get some insurance with a runner on first and nobody out. Reds lead 2-1. Have not given up a run since the first. Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike three. And Walker can't believe he swung at that pitch. Now we may have a change on the mound. That was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was the 79th pitch thrown. And Coach Sawyer is talking to
now
Rice.
Batting number 35, Dre Roberts.
And that will be it. So let's see who comes in for him. And it will be 10, who is Brogan Scott. So while Brogan Scott throws his warm-up pitches, your situation is this. We are in the top half of the 6th inning. Harrison County leads 2-1. The Reds have a runner on first and one man out. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Doug Hampton today at 859-588-7120 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Alrighty, back up here on the hilltop. The new pitcher on the mound for the Jaguars is their now former shortstop, Brogan Scott. So Evan Rice, let's see, Evan Rice goes 5 1/3 innings, gave up just 4 base hits, hit a batter, walked 2, and ends up striking out 5. So a good line for him. Gave up 2 runs, but only 1 was earned. So he had a very good, nice outing, but his offense has not been able to help him out. Dre Roberts will be the first batter to face Brogan Scott. Let's see, other changes. New shortstop, obviously. We'll get that name for you when we get a chance. Roberts has struck out, and he's also had a pop up to second. Still at first base is Persinger. There's 1 out. And time is called, as we will have a courtesy runner. It'll be Landon Custard to run for Persinger. So Custard at first, hoping he'll get around to score. Here's a look over to first base, but hustling back is Custard. A look over to him by Scott, the new pitcher. Squaring to bunt is the batter Roberts. It get past the catcher, and Custard will go on down to second base. So wild pitch. This count goes to 1-0 on Roberts. So a very important insurance run now in scoring position for the Breds. Just wait for Roberts to drop one in somewhere. And the next pitch is going to stay high. This count goes to 2-0. Roberts gets the sign from coach before stepping back in the batter's box. As down at second base, Custard takes his lead. And the delivery is way outside this time. 3 balls and no strikes to count to Roberts. As the new pitcher, Scott, having difficulties finding the strike zone. Check of the runner at second base by Scott. Another look. And the 3-0 is at the knees for a strike. Roberts was taking it all the way. Count goes to 3-1. Now Roberts is ready. Look back to second again. And the 3-1 pitch is just high for ball 4. So 1 out walk puts runners at first and second. As Cooper Slade will come back to the plate. Slade has singled and scored, that coming back in the third, which at the time.
Now batting number 16, Cooper Slade.
We'll have a courtesy runner as Sawyer Craycraft pops out of the dugout. He will run for Roberts. So Custard running for Persinger is at second. And now Craycraft running for Roberts is at first. Now time called. As, oh, I know, yeah. Not allowed to bring Craycraft in because he's already been in once. So he'll have to go back to the dugout. And in his place, coming out to run, is Sean Vaughn. So Sean Vaughn running at first base for Roberts. Slade patiently waiting at the plate for all that administrative stuff to get done. Now we're ready to go. Over at first base, the first baseman bowling in on the infield grass step. And the pitch is a little high again for ball one. This home plate umpire will not give any of those high strikes or low strikes. 1-0 pitch at the knees for strike, evening up the count at 1-1. After the Jaguars got a run in the first, the Reds matched that with a run of their own in the third and then scored the go-ahead 2 runs later. Next pitch is high and outside. This count goes to 2-1. On deck, Simon Jenkins for the Reds. Runners take their leads at second and first. Custard at second. Sean Vaughn at first. And the 2-1 is swung on and miss. That looked to be a little bit out of the strike zone. Evens up the count at 2-2. Tapping the plate with his bat was Slade. Looking for a 2-strike pitch to hit somewhere. Look back at second by Scott. And the break even is on the outside edge for strike 3. So now 2 outs in the inning. Those runners still at first and second for Simon Jenkins.
Now batting number 36, Simon Jenkins.
Jenkins, his last time up, came in with the go-ahead run after walking with 2 men out. Reds scoring their winning run, or hopefully winning run, after the first 2 were retired. He's also had a ground ball out to first as the first pitch is outside for ball 1. In case you're wondering, in the top of the 7th, Cooper will have their 8, 9, and 1 batters. Right now they need just 1 run. Next pitch is very high and inside as count goes 2-0, and the lights have been turned on here at the Hilltop Baseball Field, although it will take them a little while to take effect. Phillies and West Jessamine playing as we speak down on Shirley Field, so lots of activity here on the Hilltop tonight. 2-0 delivery is way outside. Good snag by the catcher Dalcor to keep that ball from getting past him. Nonetheless, the count goes to 3-0. Then after Simon, we'll go back to the top of the order. Getting the sign from his catcher Dalcor is Scott. And the 3-0 pitch is at the knees for strike. And now the ball got past the catcher. So, yeah. Both runners move up 90 feet. The count goes to 3-1. So, a base hit here should score 2. 3-1 pitch is way outside for ball 4. And now coming home from third base and sliding in there safely is Landon Custard, as the Thorobreds have gone up by 2 now at 3-1. At first he was hesitant about going all the way when he saw the ball bound away from the catcher Dalcor, but then when he saw it was far enough away for him to take off, he took off.
26, Keen Price.
Now bring Keen Price to the plate. So the run scores on the wild pitch. And on the play, Sean Vaughn has gone to third. First pitch is once again a little bit high for ball 1 to Keen Price. Runners on the corners. Next pitch is, that was legit too high. 2 balls and no strikes count to Price.
You're good, brother. Let's go, kid.
Reds up 3-1, looking for their 3rd win in as many games this year. If they can retire the Jaguars in the top of the next half inning. Next pitch pops out of the mitt of the catcher but there will not be any movement. However, the count does go to 3-0 on Price. Sean Vaughn at third, running for Dre Roberts, and Simon Jenkins still at first base. Although it does create big holes everywhere, he probably should be at second. The 3-0 pitch right down Main Street.
That's what happens when he doesn't swing.
Count goes to 3-1 on Price. We faced a couple of good pitchers tonight, both Rice and Scott. It's just more or less their defense is letting them down. And the wild pitches. 3-1 pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Oh, strike 2. Can't read my own writing. 3-2 the count. 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Breads up 3-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. There goes Jenkins down to third. Now a snap throw, or a snap. Jenkins went to second, and there was a snap throw to third, but Sean Vaughn dives back in plenty of time. So we'll give Simon a stolen base because we're nice people. 2 runners in scoring position now for Keene to find a hole somewhere. Price wheels the bat around. And the payoff pitch is on the inside corner for strike 3, and that'll be the inning. But the Breds do pick up an insurance run in the frame. There were no base hits and 2 runners stranded. So as we head now to the top of the 7th, your score, Harrison County 3 and Cooper 1. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Ronnie Brown today at 502-542-1984 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Back here at the Hilltop, Reds pick up an insurance run in the bottom of the 6th to go up 3-1. They'll be facing 8, 9, and 1 in the batting order. Dre Roberts back on the mound. He's going to be given a chance to close this one out. Let's hope he does well. He has retired the last 6 batters in a row on his way to what will hopefully be his first ever varsity victory and his first ever varsity start. A really good outing for him, following in the footsteps of 2 other great outings for us, although those were both combined games where somebody pitched like 4 and somebody else pitched 3. Let's hope that Roberts can get the Cooper Jaguars out 1, 2, 3. Ryan Rigney, and then we'll see if Evan Rice bats, and then back to the top of the order, and Jaden Dwayne.
Now batting number 2, Ryan Rigney.
Rigney with a single, that coming back in the 2nd inning. That's one of only 5 hits on the day for Cooper. He's also had a fly ball out to center field. Coming into this inning, in case you're wondering, Roberts has thrown 77 pitches. Lights now have taken full effect here on the Hilltop as Roberts gets the sign from Price. The wind and the first pitch is going to be high and inside for ball 1. Simon Jenkins had been warming up earlier, but that's been a couple of innings ago. If he was to come in, he'd almost have to get a few more warm-up tosses. As the next pitch is delivered and cranked foul down the left side towards the concession stand. And if you're wondering, yes, the concession stand is open. If you need a snack or supper or something else, they've got just about everything you could need. 1-1 the count on Rigney. The wind and the 1-1 pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. 1-2 the count to the leadoff batter for Cooper here in the top of the 7th inning. Working quickly, Roberts. The next pitch is on the outside part of the plate for strike 3. Another Joe Cochran at State Farm strikeout for Dre Roberts.
Now batting number 29.
3, 4, 5 strikeouts on the day. Who is it? It's Basil's, I think.
Cole Basil.
Yeah, Cole Basil at the plate.
Go Cole.
So Cole Basil. First pitch taken for a strike. Basil batting in Rice's plate. Wind and the pitch is a bit outside as the count goes even at 1-1. Reds looking to open the season 3-0 if we can get these last 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch, that one slipped out of the hand of Roberts and went in behind the batter, Basil. So the count goes to 2-1.
Let's go, Cole.
Standing in there now is number 3. His first appearance of the day. Pitch is swung on and missed. Count goes even at 2-2. We'll take another Joe Cochran at State Farm strikeout here. And the break-even pitch is, it was so close. I've seen him call strikes on pitches like that before. But instead, the count goes to 3-2. 1 out, nobody on for the Jags. They trail by 2 here in the top of the 7th. Payoff pitch is tipped foul. So Basil stays alive in his plate appearance. Landon Custard coming across the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning with that extra insurance run. The Reds have scored single runs in the 3rd, 5th, and 6th after the Jaguars scored their single run in the 1st. Payoff pitch again is up high for ball 4. So we're going back to the top of the order now with a runner on first and 1 out.
Number 4, Jaden Dwayne.
Jaden Dwayne has been on base all 3 times. Reached on air and scored back in the 1st. Singled in the 3rd and did the same in the 5th. He's batting with 1 out and 1 on over at first base. Basil being held on by Persinger. A throw over there is not in time.
Smart, you don't mean anything.
Back deep in left field is Green. Playing fairly deep in center field is Lewis. Don't want to have anything go over their heads at this juncture. Next pitch is low and inside. 1-0 the count to Dwayne. Tough decision for Coach on whether to leave him in or not. And the 1-0 is way inside. Had him ducking out of the way of that one as the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Now a visit to the mound by Price to try to settle Roberts down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13. That pitch right there was his 90th pitch of the game. Still has decent location, but you don't want to get behind on the good hitters. And now that we're at the top of the lineup, Cooper's first 4 are very good hitters, and number 5 is pretty decent. Next pitch is inside again. 3 balls and no strikes to count to Dwayne. Jaden Dwayne, the junior, best player on the team. From the stretch. 3-0 pitch is taken all the way. It's going to find the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Way to dig deep there, Dre. See, he awaits the sign from his catcher. And the 3-1 pitch is down low, ball 4. So back-to-back walks following a strikeout to open up the frame. And Coach Whitaker going to the mound, and with that being the 92nd pitch of the night for Dre, that's going to be it. But still a really nice outing for him. He's done very well. Coming in will be Brian Vaughn to try to close this game out. So while Brian Vaughn takes his warm-up pitches, your situation is this. We are in the top half of the 7th inning. Harrison County leads 3-1. However, the Jaguars are threatening with 2 runners on and 1 out. You're listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Trish Jenkins today at 859-588-5590 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality.
Fox and Fox, that's Oasis Bar and Grill, your local getaway in downtown Cynthiana.
All righty, Brian Vaughn on the mound, taking over for Dre Roberts. That played Brogan Scott. He is 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts and a sacrifice bunt. And now, before the first pitch can be thrown, Brian Vaughn calls his battery mate Keen Price to the mound to make sure that they're both on the same page with that runner at second base. Now that meeting breaks up. A couple of practice swings by Scott. He's hit the ball hard both times, but both times the ballpark held it as Blake Green was able to make the catch. A look back at the runner at second base. That is Cole Basil. The pitch is going to be a wild one, and both runners will move up 90 feet. So all of a sudden, the Jaguars have the potential tying run in scoring position down at second base. Reds 3-1 lead. Boy, tell you what, that was a super huge insurance run that Harrison County got in the bottom of the 6th inning to make it a 2-run game. Infield still back. And now time called by Scott. Scott, the shortstop, stands back in there. A junior. Runners take their leads. And Brian Vaughn's pitch is going to be at the knees for a strike. Count evens up at 1-1. The Reds actually have trailed for most of this game, not taking the lead until the bottom half of last inning. They're hoping to hang on to it now. But Brian Vaughn's got to throw some strikes. The 0-1 pitch is on the outside corner, just like the doctor ordered, and the count goes to make that 1-2 on Scott. He'll step back in there once again as down at third base, Basil takes his lead, as does the more important runner, Dwayne, at second. Slade trying to keep Dwayne close. Next pitch is a bouncer to the left side, bobbled by Reynolds. He'll throw on to first base. It will not be in time. Coming across the plate will be Basil, and Cooper is back to within one at 3-2. Looked like that ball took a funny hop just before it got to
now
us.
batting number 15, Blaine Smith.
Because it was so close, though, to where the second baseman is. The runner on second, Dwayne, did not move. Now time called. As we'll have... Oh, I didn't even see the runner Scott down, lying on the ground about 50 feet away from the first base bag, so I don't know if he maybe misstepped or what happened there, but they're attending to him now. Big run coming across the plate on that error by the shortstop. That's Harrison County's third error of the ball game. Have to clean that up a little bit. Still attending to the batter, Brogan Scott, who now is able to stand back up again. And he's going to walk it off. I think he might have just hit the bag wrong when he was trying to stretch and stepped on it the wrong way and twisted an ankle as he's trying to get it to loosen up for him. I wouldn't be surprised, though, with him. He is maybe not real noticeably limping, but he wants to stay in the game, and I think that coach is going to let him because right now the Jaguars have gotten back to within one at 3-2 and have runners on first and second. For Blaine Smith, the designated hitter, batting for the center fielder Nick Renero. Smith's been on base a couple of times in the ball game. Singling back in the first, was hit by a pitch in the third, and then popped up to short his last time up in the fifth. And as we suspected, Scott will stay in the ball game. Potential tying run in scoring position down at second base, though, for Cooper with one out. And the runner on first, Scott, represents the go-ahead run, potentially. First pitch to the plate's at the knees for a strike. Brian Vaughn on the mound in relief of the starter, Dre Roberts, who went the first 6 1/3 innings before being lifted after giving up back-to-back walks. Long look into his pitcher, Price, by Brian. And now a throw to first base. I thought they had him. It looked from like this angle that they had him, but not much of an argument from our dugout, so they must not have. But that was a heck of a throw by Brian Vaughn on a pickoff try.
Yeah, Brogan.
Smith stands back into the batter's box. Slade trying to keep the runner at second close. Brian from his stretch. Now throw back to second, but not in time. And that ball scoots away as it went off of Slade's glove, and both runners will move up on the throwing error. Second error of the inning committed by Thorobreds, and now the potential tying run just 90 feet away, and the potential go-ahead run in scoring position on the bad throw back to second base. 1-1 the count. Infield draws in. And the pitch is going to be down low. Yes, I think that was a 1-1 pitch. Blaine Smith at the plate.
Come on, Blaine.
Let's go, Blaine.
Trying to get those runners home here in the top of the seventh. Pitch is a bouncer to the left side, gloved by Reynolds. His only play is to first, and he overthrows the first baseman. It goes out of the field of play, and a 2-run error will put the Jaguars on top by a score of 4-3. Well, Reynolds at first thought about maybe bringing that ground ball home to catch the run at the plate, but then thought better of it to try to get the safe, what we thought was a safe out at first. And he ends up throwing it
now batting number 40,
over the fence.
Ty Aragon.
That is the third error of the inning on the Thoroughbreds here in the top of the seventh. Two of them on Boston. At the plate now is Ty Aragon, who is 0 for 3. First pitch down low for ball one.
Let's go, Foro. Nobody better here. Let's go.
On second base, Smith takes his lead. A 3-run seventh. It's not over yet as the next pitch is down low for a ball two. Dre Roberts was rocking right along, but then got to his 93rd pitch and walked back-to-back batters. That's what brought Brian Vaughn in. But things have not been good. Wiggling the bat at the plate is Aragon. And the pitch is going to be at the letters for a strike. Count goes to 2-1. Still just one out. This the 6th batter here in the inning. Next pitch is down low as the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Hate those unearned runs.
3-1.
Brian Vaughn gets the sign, takes a look back at second, and the pitch is outside for ball 4. So runners on first and second now. Reds still trail by just 1, but
now batting number 33,
like
Jordan
Dalcour. They've already
Dalcour.
scored 3 runs in the inning. And now their 5th place batter, Jordan Dalcour, to the plate. He struck out twice and also had a double. Brian Vaughn on the mound in relief. A look back at second. And the pitch is going to be up high for a ball. Steps back in. Runner down at second base takes his lead. That's Smith. And the pitch is way inside for ball 2. Yes. Reds have fallen apart here in the last inning, or what we think might be the last inning anyway, the 7th. Brian Vaughn's next pitch is a high chopper to the left side. Reynolds has it. He'll flip it into right field over the second baseman's head. 1 run scores, and the Jaguars have gone up 5-3 on the 4th error of the inning on Harrison County. Wow. Moving over to third base was Aragon on that error. So runners on first and third. 4 runs in the inning. Now Brian Vaughn and the rest of the infield talking about it. We'll have a courtesy runner run at first base. And now the meeting on the mound is over. For Carson Johnson. Carson Johnson, has had a fly out.
Now batting number 37, Carson Johnson.
4 runs, 7th inning. 4 errors by the Breds. Just almost seems infectious sometimes. Getting the sign from his catcher, Price, is Brian Vaughn. And the pitch is a pop-up foul and that'll play down the left side. Reds just desperately need an out. Six straight batters have reached for the Jaguars here in the 7th. And the pitch is down low, gets past Price. Coming home from third is Aragon, and he's in there safely. So another run comes home on a wild pitch by Brian Vaughn. On down to second base went the other batter, Dalcour. Actually, the pinch runner for Dalcour. So now, just adding on to those 4 errors, a wild pitch. 1-1 the count. This game is getting out of hand. 6-3 your score. 5 runs for Cooper here in the inning. Next pitch is on the outside part of the plate. 1-2 the count. In the bottom of the 7th, it'll be the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th batters for Harrison County. But we can't give up any more runs. Look back at second by Brian Vaughn. And the pitch is sliced down the right side and will be a foul ball.
Nice hit, CJ Street. Good hit, though. Good hit.
So the pinch runner will have to go back to second, and the batter Johnson will have to come back to the plate. Barring a double play, the Jaguars will bat around in this inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Ball and 2 strikes the count to number 37, Carson Johnson. Johnson, the junior. Oh, the Cooper dugout loves it. And the pitch is just a bit outside. This count evens up at 2-2. With a young team like what we got, we're going to have to accept nights like these when things unravel quickly. Until those young guys learn to adjust. Here's a bouncing ball in the hole between short and third. The runner will hold up at the third base bag, but runners on the corners now. Still just 1 out.
Now batting number 24, Dax Bolin.
Dax Bolin at the plate. He's had a pop-up, been hit by a pitch and a ground out. The 9th man to bat in the inning. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight batters have reached for the Jaguars. Over at first base, a big lead by Johnson. As the first pitch to the plate is going to be fouled off of the press box for strike 1. Brian Vaughn just trying to get out of the inning at this juncture.
Holy crap, you guys up by 2.
Reds had a 3-1 lead going into this inning. But not anymore. But still a chance. So the next pitch is taken for a strike. Still got 1 more time at the plate. And basically top of the order coming up with numbers 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Flashing the sign to the mound, Price. As Brian Vaughn checks out the runners on the corners. And the pitch is down low.
Let's go, Dax.
Count goes to 1-2. Jaguars came into this game 0-1. Their only game so far a loss to Grant County back on Wednesday, while Harrison was 2-0. Next pitch taken on the outside part of the plate for strike 3. That's another Joe Cochran at State Farm strikeout. So 2 outs now in the inning.
Now batting number 2, Ryan Rigney.
Ryan Rigney, who actually started out this inning with a strikeout. So in between strikeouts, bad things happened. 4 errors, a wild pitch, and 5 unearned runs. Over at first base, Johnson still being held on by Persinger. It's the first pitch to the plate outside and high for ball 1. Number 2 taps the plate with his bat. Trying to get another run across the plate here. A look over the first base by Brian Vaughn. Now time called by the batter Ryan Rigney, who has singled, had a fly ball out to center, and a strikeout earlier in this frame. Next pitch is going to be high and inside. 2 balls and no strikes to count. A lot of pitches have been thrown in this inning by Brian Vaughn. We'll count him up later. Ryan goes from the stretch. And the pitch down low for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes to count to Rigney. Wiggles the bat over his right shoulder a bit, does the batter. As the runners take their leads from first and third. Next pitch is down low, ball 4. And that will once again load the bases with Jaguars. 2 outs. And it'll be Cole Basil again. Basil
now batting number 3, Cole Basil.
Came around to score what would be the second run. Five runs altogether in the frame for Cooper. First pitch is taken on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. What's kind of irritating is this whole rally started with the 8-9 batters. Can't let the lower part of the lineup beat you. But a good learning experience, unless we come back in the bottom of the 7th. Here's a pitch that's going to stay inside. The batter, Basil, thought about swinging, but brought the bat back when he saw the pitch was well out of the strike zone. Count goes to 1-1. Down at first base, Rigney takes his lead. As Brian Vaughn gets the sign from Price. And the pitch is high and inside. 2-1 the count. Basil batting for the second time in the inning. 11th batter altogether. Brian Vaughn wheels and fires the pitch. It's going to be down low. 3 balls and a strike. There's no place to put him. The bases are packed with Jaguars. A base hit would score 2, or depending on where it goes, maybe 3. Wind blowing out towards left field. And the 3-1 to the plate is at the knees for a strike, and that'll load things up. And everybody on the base paths will be on their horses on the motion to the plate. Look for the wheel. Hopefully we'll get a 3rd strike. Runners take their leads at 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. And as Brian goes into the lineup, there they go. The payoff pitch is a slow roller to the left side. Charging hard is Jenkins to make that rather rich. Roberts, and his throw to first draws the first baseman off the bag. So another error in the inning. Oh, now after the umpires decide it's an out instead. So thank you, umpires, for giving us that out. But in the inning, 5 runs crossed the plate for the Jaguars. They did it with the strength of only 1 base hit, but there were 4 Harrison County errors. And as it ends up, the bases were left loaded. So as we head now to the bottom of the 7th, your score, Cooper 6 and Harrison County 3. You're listening to the Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Kentucky Farm Bureau agents wear a lot of hats. They're coaches, volunteers, church members, neighbors, someone who's there when you need them, especially when you need them most. That may be a lot of hats, but they're all the perfect fit. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Into the bottom half of the 7th inning, it'll be Green, Brian Vaughn, and Lewis scheduled up against Brogan Scott, who came on in relief of the starter Evan Rice last inning. And now we'll
batting number 14, Blake Green.
As he is the pitcher of record right now. Green has had a fly ball out to center field. He's reached on a fielder's choice and also had an RBI single. First pitch is down low for ball 1. Well, if the Jags can do it, we can do it. Green awaits the next pitch. Here it comes, and it's at the letters for a strike.
Every time, Brogan.
This count evens up at 1-1. Lights have been on for a while now as the next pitch is delivered on the outside corner for strike 2.
Every time. Let's go, every time.
Green steps back in. And the pitch is a bouncing ball foul to the right side. 1-2. We'll be in Lewis County tomorrow at noon. Let's take on the Lions. That's going to be at Vanceburg. The wind by Scott, and the pitch outside. Runs the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Working quickly, Scott winds and fires the next pitch. It's swung on and missed for strike 3.
There you go.
That is Scott's 3rd strikeout since he came on to pitch last inning with 1 out. Helping Brian Vaughn back to play. Brian has had a strikeout, a pop-up, and a walk.
Now batting number 32, Brian Vaughn.
First pitch to him here is outside and high for ball 1.
Let's go, Brogan.
Just one of those nights. Actually, all of it seemed like it fell in the same inning. Here's a chopper to the right side. Picking it up is the pitcher, Scott. His throw to first base is going to be in time to retire Brian Vaughn. So with 1 out to go, Reds down to the last swing. It's Jay-Sean Lewis. Lewis singled back in the 2nd inning. He's also had a strikeout and a pop-up.
Now batting number 3, Jay-Sean Lewis.
Stranger things have happened than a 3-run rally with 2 outs. First pitch is swung on and missed. A shoulder-high fastball that Lewis swung through. 6-3, Harrison County trails a 5-run top of the 7th by the Jaguars, enabling them to take that lead after trailing 3-1. Here's a pop-up on the left side of the infield. Now it's actually going into the outfield. And it's caught by the center fielder, Nick Renero. And that's your ball game. Harrison County loses by a final score of 6-3 to drop to 2-1 on the season, while the Cooper Jaguars even up their record at 1-1. Just a inning that we couldn't get them out. Just could not get them out. But still a great pitching effort by Dre Roberts. Went out there and gave his best for as long as he could, and I think he just tired out. But good learning lesson for our guys that you can never take anything for granted, and we need to work a little bit on the defense as well. We'll take a break, come back, and have our post-game show and name our Judy Construction Company player of the game, as well as have a chat with Coach Whitaker. All that coming up after this timeout. But once again, from here on the Hilltop, your final score, Cooper High School 6, Harrison County 3. You've been listening to Thoroughbred Baseball on WCYN Sports.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Mary Todd Ashbrook today at 859-588-1520 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love. I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Dreaming of the perfect home? Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, Palmer Hampton Realty is here to guide you every step of the way. Located in the heart of Cynthiana, we know this community like no one else. From charming historic homes to modern dream properties, we'll find the perfect fit for you. Call Katie Bowman today at 859-595-4234 and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Risk assessments. With testing, Dr. Anangi can determine damage done and how to protect your lungs in the future. Quality.
Alrighty, back here at the Hilltop, Harrison County loses by a final score of 6-3, mainly due to a 5-run seventh inning by the visiting Jaguars. It took them from 2 down to 3 up. Joined now by Coach Whitaker, and Coach, it just seemed like there for a while we just couldn't get anybody out.
The mistakes we made. The only thing you question is me on why those kids are playing. I mean, the mistakes they made out there, if you make those mistakes, I mean, it doesn't make any difference if it's the first game of the year or last game of the year. Those mistakes are just common mistakes. And got to question, do you deserve to be playing? So that's the way it works. We'll go back to the drawing board and see what we can come up with.
Right.
It's very discouraging. Very, very, very discouraging to play baseball like that.
Yeah, that's not Harrison County baseball.
It never has been. And so, we'll do something about it. All I can tell you.
Yeah. Now, on the positive side, Dre Roberts pitched great.
He's a battler. He is a guy that really gives you everything and bears down and won't give up. And maybe I should have left him in. Gosh, the way it turned out, you say, why'd you take him out? So I don't know. He did a great job. I'm proud of him, and he just keeps working hard, and he'll be a good one for us.
Yeah, it looked like they're about the 5th inning. You were about to take him out. Did he say something to you?
Not really. We were going on his arm, and we've got the radar gun, and we see what he's doing, and he went way down, and you looked like, gosh, what's wrong? And then all of a sudden he comes back up, and he starts, that's that second win, and that's that battler that wants to win and wants to do what, he'll work hard, and I like that. I like that kind of stuff out of a kid. And so, but he was, his pitch count was really high there at the end, and we just said, we felt like we can get 2 outs with Brian, and then we just self-explode. I mean, you can't make those kind of mistakes and give him 6 or 7 outs in an inning and, act like a little kid out there. So you've got to be a man and go out there and man up and do what you're supposed to do. And we didn't do it, and we'll see about making corrections.
Right. And you don't have long to wait. Got Lewis County tomorrow over at Vanceburg, and normally they're a decent team.
They're a good team. They always have been, and they'll be well drilled and playing over there. And the fact of the matter is, how many times did we have bases loaded, people on base, and key people not getting the job done? We can look and point fingers and do everything else, but gosh, our key people aren't getting anything done. I mean, just are not getting done. And I'll go back and say, it's you got to work at it to be prepared. And if you haven't put the work in, it'll be 3 or 4 weeks before some of these guys are ready, because it just nothing's been done.
Right.
And it shows, because they haven't they just haven't done it. You've got all kinds of chances to get RBIs and drive runs in and move people up, and just not getting it. We missed signs. We had base running mistakes. I mean, we were very fortunate just to be where we were, and then we just self-exploded. But we'll try to make some corrections.
It's a long season, Coach.
It is.
Plenty of time.
Well, maybe. Hopefully it is. But anyway, we'll go back to it, drawing board, and hey, we got some kids wanting to play and worked hard and doing a good job, and we'll see if they get a chance.
Oh, I know. And you've never been shy about if an 8th grader's out playing a senior to play that 8th grader.
I'm telling you, we got some people waiting in line, and we're sure not going to let people perform like that and keep playing. I mean, you got to overcome a mentality. I mean, they've been beat up and lost here and lost there, and come out here and think it's okay to lose, and it's not. They've got to understand that we don't play that way, and if you play that way, somebody else gets the chance.
Right.
So that's how it works with me, anyway.
All right. Appreciate you coming
Thanks,
up, Coach,
Jim.
and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Head baseball coach Mac Whitaker after Harrison County's 6-3 loss at the hands of Cooper here on the hilltop tonight. I don't want to go through the ugliness of the last inning, but just suffice it to say, Harrison County had 3 runs on 4 hits. They commit 6 errors and left 7 runners on. For Cooper, 6 runs on 6 hits. They commit 1 error and left 9 aboard. As far as our Judy Construction Company player of the game, got to give it to Dre Roberts. Dre pitched great. I feel bad for him because he was in line to get a win, but we just couldn't close the door. But he'll have plenty of more chances to show just how good he is, and a very bright spot. Much like all of our pitchers this year have been bright spots, starting pitchers anyway. But a lot of stuff to work on. I'm not going to lose faith on them yet. They've still got a lot of good players out there who just had a bad night. Bad nights happen to major leaguers, so hopefully our guys won't worry too much about their performances tonight, and they'll just come back tomorrow and forget about tonight and go back to playing the way they're capable tomorrow at Lewis County. Judy Construction Company player of the game, thanks once again to Dre Roberts for his pitching performance. He ends up going, as I get my scorebook turned around, he ends up going 6 1/3 innings, 6 1/3 innings, gave up just 6 base hits in 6 1/3 innings, which isn't bad at all. He walked, should have counted this up before I started speaking. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he struck out He struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He struck out 6 and walked only 4. And although he did give up a couple of runs, both of them were unearned. So, he comes out of this with a 0.00 earned run average. So once again, congratulations to Ray Roberts, our Judy Construction Company Player of the Game. As we mentioned, the Breds will be back in action tomorrow over at Lewis County in Vanceburg at high noon to take on the Lions. We'll be on the air with the pregame show at about 5 or 10 minutes till. Breds will then return home to take on Paris on Monday, Bishop Brossard on Tuesday, and Covington Holy Cross on Thursday. So plenty of chances to come up and support your baseball Breds this coming week. I want to thank my engineer back at the station, Mike Davis. Mike always does a great job. And as always, I want to thank all of our sponsors, because without their help, we would not be able to get Harrison County High School baseball on the air. So from the hilltop, your final score for the final time.